Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Oh, look at you. Here, right here. You put it in the
No, because I'm not gonna have to say. Just in case. No, it's to pick up the word.
Oh, it's
So I
not
have
going.
it. But if I need to speak to him, I had to give Kyle mine because his.
Oh, see, and both of them. But the way was in the back.
Oh. I don't know. I didn't see it.
That was I'm, I gave Susan a great.
Hey, Caesar. I put those two mics up there in case you need to use them. To turn them on, you hold down the red button so it flashes, and then you just unmute it on the left side of the screen. It is.
Sorry. She thought she could get here after she got cleared from school. I'm like, I'll let you find out. Mhm.
Real quick, before we close, open remarks, open comments, anybody want to speak to, get me on the agenda to speak at all, we'll close it. Okay, thank you.
Yes, that is, but can you just say? Oh, yeah. For the other one, give me just a second. For the different, so you and switch to green. So that's for the. Yeah, loud. Seeing we have a quorum of 4 for our specially called meeting, I call to order the City of Kemah City Council and Kemah Public Facilities Corporation special meeting, April 8th, 2026 at 4 p.m. The first thing on our agenda is, oh, we do not have the pledges. I'm so sorry in a specially called meeting. We have invitation to address council. And the first one on our list is Wes Tipton. And Mr. Tipton, if you'd be sure the microphone is on when you go up there, and you'll have 3 minutes. There should be a clock somewhere around here. Well, it's over there today.
Thank you, City Council. I represent one tribe that owns the property between Gary Queen and Patron. Mr. Don, the owner of Patron, called me looking that he's on his way. As I'm sure everybody's noticed, there's an apparent property dispute going on, I guess, with my organization in the city. over there right now, and I'd really like to get it settled and have everybody happy. Me and Mr. Dong had a meeting with some city representatives several months back. We heard that all that land was slated to be a park, and we were just saying, hey, we have concerns about how this is going to affect our use of this property, because we've kind of always seen it as an alleyway or a drainage easement that drains our properties. So we had concerns. The city said they wanted to lease it out, that they wanted to lease our property out along with the city's property to some people in Vegas. I didn't know it was going to go to Kima Hardware. Apparently Kima Hardware got the lease before me or Mr. Dong were offered or told a price or anything. Our conversation with the city left on, we wanted to know what was going on back there with the drainage and what our rights to were with the drainage. So when you have properties that connect with no established boundary markers, like obvious fence posts, it makes sense to get with your neighbor and say, hey, we're going to do a survey. Do you want to do a survey? You know, several months ago, the city started mowing way over into our property. So I put some wooden stakes up back there that lined up with the GCAD map lines. So there's still room for dispute on where the property lines go. When we get it figured out, I'm willing to take down stakes I've put up in the past that may be over onto the city's property. If I encroached improperly, I'm sorry. I know the city surveyor was just recently found to have been trying to take 2 feet of the property for the city's sake for me and Dairy Queen and Patron building. He actually moved his survey stakes back 2 feet. So if I didn't stand up and make a stink, that we would have had to give up that 2 feet of property when we're having to give up our access rights that we believe are back there at the same time already. So we just really would have appreciated it if the city would have said, given us an opportunity to lease it, if it's truly leasable, before a property that doesn't even connect to us. And we're just asking to put the pause, if you can, or to let Kima Hardware know, hey, you might have this for now. It might not be a permanent thing. Thank you.
Next on the list is Shalia Thorne.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you. I don't always speak, but I want to talk actually about your executive session. And it does, especially in light of what Mr. Tipton says about information on disputes and alleged disputes. Please, please, the city has enough litigation. Just be mindful, and this is not divulging anything, just be mindful of the actions that you take. In my opinion, the city doesn't need more litigations about who owns this, who owns that, what are we doing with it. You're supposed to work for the citizens and businesses of the city, not any individual's own interests. And on a lighter note, I am saddened to see our communications director will be leaving. I want to personally commend her. She probably doesn't even remember this, but when we met, it was actually at an Easter egg hunt. It was the first one she worked, and it went stupendous, and it's been going blockbusters ever since. So I truly enjoyed working with her. The city's going to have some big shoes to fill, but again, I just want to personally commend you. Thank you.
Patty, is the presentation, is she?
Mayor,
So you want to go ahead?
Ms. Thorne did steal a little bit of the point that we were going to make. We wanted some time before we started the presentation to actually acknowledge Ms. Patty Jett. So Ms. Thorne did take the prelude us or transfer us into that, I'd like to take a moment of a personal privilege to thank Ms. Patty for this
Thank you.
opportunity and for the short time that we've had to work together. She's been able to keep up with some of the demands and requests, and if it's okay, she would like to just say a few words.
I do.
And so,
I do. Y'all, it's been a pleasure to work with all of you and to work here in Kemah. Kemah holds such a special place in my heart. It did before, but it does even more now, and you're going to make me cry. In the last 2 years, I am always going to cheerlead for Kemah. I am always going to be your biggest fan. And as much as I'm looking forward to this new chapter in my life, it's really bittersweet for me because there's some great projects down the line. And I'm going to be watching you guys and making sure you do all of them. And when you do them, I'm going to be here for groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings and cheering and then maybe go on the new water slide over at the boardwalk. So that's about it.
Okay, and is Madeline here?
No, I think we need to flip flop the 2 items and she can go when this one's done, if that's okay with y'all.
We have a motion by Councilman Darren Broadus and a second by Councilman Doug Meisinger to move proclamations down to after the presentation. So 3A will be after 3B. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, Caesar, I'll turn it over to you. And do you have a list of our distinguished guests? I don't know that I know everybody here.
I do have a running list. I keep trying to go, turn each time. As we hear the presentation and allow our presenter to come forward, I do want to take the privilege to also welcome County Commissioner Apfel, who's here and is present. And I know there's other dignitaries from different, I see Bayhep is present. I see our partners of the city of Seabrook are present. I see members of the community, residents, business owners are here to hear what it is we have to say. Members of MMD1, members of WCID. There's a long, long list to do that. But if anybody would like to just thank you so much for your time. And if anybody would like to say something in regards to that, if you could please leave your comments until the end. Okay. There are, for those members of media that are here, there are some media packets in the back that we will make available for you here shortly. That said, Mayor, Natasha, if we're ready. Excellent.
Is the microphone on? The button
Is it-
green
is it
at the
green?
bottom?
It's green. It's
Okay,
green.
great.
South Florida?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, Mayor, council members. My name is Saul Valentine. I am founding principal of Collaborate Architects. Next to me is Chris Kay, also a principal with Collaborate. In the back, shout out to the staff that is here to support us as well. But today we're here very excited to, after what you said, go into the heels of what is an exciting growth and new future for the city of Kemah. Go ahead and go to the next slide. I'm not telling you anything new about Kemah. I've had the pleasure and privilege to be in this area for the last 32 years of my life. So there is something that we're looking to do, which is grow and build upon what's already here. What you see in front of you is the town center announcement. Is something that we're going to continue to build, anchored by sports, anchored by entertainment, anchored by hospitality, resident focus, and it's going to build on the economic impact of the city and build to the future. Next slide. The vision is to maintain the local character that we already have here. We're not here to change anything. We're here to improve and build upon what we have. The next few slides are going to tell you a lot of information about what that future looks like, specifically in this area that we're talking about. But it's going to be, again, anchored by sports, hospitality, walkability, citizen-centric. It's going to be a destination rooted completely in the local character of what's already here for the generations to come. Next.
Before I get into the details, maybe Kyle, you can talk to this slide a little bit about the structure that we're tying into. But this is a project. The vision is it's a 30-acre site off of 146 and Grady Road, and then it's backed by Evergreen. It's adjacent to your new park that's under development. We're proposing a mixed-use city center development with a really interesting anchor, which is a public-private partnership for a sports and event center, which is going to host hundreds of events a year. But most importantly, what it does is it provides a lot of diversity and resiliency for the city, as well as we already know the city is a strong tourism destination, but it's seasonal. And you also have, this project's going to bring sports and event tourism, which is different, and it's going to promote new businesses, new retail, new hospitality, and really energize the city's tax base. And also, really, its recognition, it's already recognized as a tourism hub, but this is going to really take it to a completely different level, as well as transform the financial resiliency of the city for years to come. So how we're going to do this, you have about $70+ million a year that's going to the state right now that you don't get the benefit of. And there's a bill, a program that the state has pledged 6.25% of its sales tax back to the city for this project. And I don't know, Kyle, if there's a legal description of this bill that I'm...
They amended the tax code September 1st, 2019, and they added section 351.1021, which gives us the opportunity to build a facility like this, obtain a 6.2% sales tax for all businesses within a 2,500 square feet as opposed to 1,000.
Right.
And we qualify under 351.1021.
Thank you. So the project is in two parts. The first part is the sports complex that will be paid for by the state, so there will be no impact to the residents. On the contrary, without this project, the residents would over time have to bear potentially, as you build out your infrastructure and you improve your community, you'd have to bear a higher tax base. In this case, this is going to really help that situation because it's going to bring a lot of new taxes to offset that. The second phase will be about 200,000+ square feet of hospitality and lifestyle-centric retail, entertainment, everything you'd think of in a modern city center. It's going to be pedestrian-centric. It's going to have lots of green space. It's going to tie to the park. And it'll be a place where residents can gather during the week or tourism during the weekend and really have another place to go and really diversify the city. What you see there is a conceptual site plan of the two phases. The first phase being the sports event community center up on the top. Placement may change to the left or to the right a little bit, but generally it's in the correct location. And then the remainder is a conceptual plan of the hotels, the walkable spaces, dining. Everything will be golf cart accessible, tie back into the 146 improvements that are being done. So it's really going to be an exciting place and a real great place to visit. Next look. Just high level map of the area. Of course, when you build a center like this, the first question that we have to deal with is going to be traffic and circulation. So we really examined that. We wanted to make sure that we had secondary entrances and access points from FM 518, and then Evergreen on the back side, and then, of course, 96 on the opposite side. So circulation should not interfere with the residents on the other side of 146, and then it really ties back into City Hall, and we get an opportunity here to create celebrate the entry into Kemah City Center. There's no name that's been selected. I refer to it as Kemah City Center. that will be determined by the community at a later date. Next slide. So in addition to circulation, we're going to add 1,300 more parking spaces, possibly more. 500 to 600 will be on site, distributed strategically throughout the center. So you're not going to see a huge parking lot. It's going to feel like a city center with mixed-use amenities, restaurants, et cetera. So it'll be very comfortable, a place you want to go spend time with your family and kids, socialize with your friends. And then we will have parking in the easements that currently CenterPoint controls, where we'll have mass parking for the events. And that same parking will be able to be used by the rest of the city, by the retailers, and when you have special events throughout the city, and you'll be able to connect with your transit system or with the carts. There'll also be a walkable.
And those conversations have already started with CenterPoint. That's a long-term process.
Right. Next slide. This is just a visual of the sports and event conference center. It's a fairly large building, anywhere between 90 to 120,000 square feet, depending on the final program. The importance of it is that it's going to be unique to this part of Texas. And I want to just stop briefly for a moment and invite our partner with Sports Facilities Company. They're the leading sports facilities operator in the country. And maybe you can introduce yourself, tell a little bit about the company and how we're working together.
Yes, Mayor, Council, JD Wood. I'm the Vice President of Business Development for SFC. Thank you guys for the opportunity today to speak with y'all. We have been able to, over 23 years, support over 3,500 communities that are looking at developing items like this, whether it's recreation, sports, entertainment, all the above. We actually have 108 venues that we operate across the country currently, with 10 of those in the state of Texas. Not the same, but up to the conversation we've had about hosting tourism-based events, you have the Legends Event Center in Bryan, Texas, to put it as an example, if anyone's had the opportunity to see that. That's one of the venues that we helped do the feasibility study for, develop, and manage it full-time for the city of Bryan, Texas. Again, we are in the process, again, supporting from a feasibility perspective. So again, this is what these kind of conversations are about, and work with the community, get feedback, and those kind of conversations to be had. But looking at the destination of Kemah as a tourism destination, you're looking at a perspective of 8 basketball courts, 16 volleyball courts, 24 pickleball courts. That is what a tourism-based anchor entity like this would need to host those championship volleyball and associated events that go with that. So we're excited about what that is. And that's just from the tourism perspective. When you're looking at from a community perspective, parks and recreation, looking at hosting chamber meetings, looking at hosting local clubs and associations, look at doing anything from chess club to design club to wrestling events and judo events and all of those kind of locally. So allowing us to expand local usage as well as bring in different kind of events across this area is something that would be a real benefit to the community. And SFC is happy to be here as a partner with the city as well as we collaborate to support those goals and aspirations. Yes.
So that is part one of the project, but the other part, which is the retail and the entertainment, the city center, that's an investment that we'll be making with our development partners. That is a significant investment in Kemah, and frankly, we wouldn't do that without having an anchor that would drive demand like a sports and event center, like the one Sports Facilities Group just described. It really creates the gravitas necessary to justify such a large development in this community. The circle that you see on the site plan represents the 2,500 square foot radius, and the businesses that are within that radius that we would be tapping into on that 6.25% tax to pay for the sports stadium, the sports facility. But that has nothing to do with the private development. That's coming from private funds that we will be investing in the city of Kemah.
And just to expand a little bit more on the circles that you see, at the end of the day, there's really 4 different circles that could be drawn to incorporate the 2,500 square feet that we're talking about that would kind of contribute the 6.25 state sales tax that goes back to the state that could contribute and will contribute to the $70 million that we talked about earlier that will go in for this project.
And the other thing that this project will do is currently you're losing about 30 to 35% of revenue opportunities from tourism and hotel stays to or other surrounding communities. And you're also spending quite a bit of money to be able to go and send your kids to tournaments in other communities. All that would stay here. So again, it would benefit your community and your tax base. It also gives you an opportunity to really cement a city center and really provide an alternate location other than the boardwalk for additional amenities. These are some visuals of what the sports complex might look like inside, and then just some feel-good shots of the retail and entertainment. So lots of walkable city center spaces, plazas, the golf carts, accessibility in order to be able to tie into other parts of the city, retail, dining, sports, fitness, wellness. We plan on, we're talking to a pediatrics orthopedics group that is very, very interested in joining the project. And then also enhanced economic development. Of course, the branding part, really a project like this takes Kemah to another level when it comes to sports tourism. It would be unique and arguably the only center in this part of the state capable of meeting these.
And some of the points that we want to make is, on those bullet points are really, we thought through the process of how would the residents benefit from a development like this. And the idea was, in addition to economic development, in addition to other people coming in to visit, those are some of the things that we foresee that the residents would benefit from. Access directly into the park, golf cart accessible spaces, walkability around the dining and the retail. So these are things that are really, really important to us. As you're going to see in the next few slides, we're going to have an opportunity to engage.
Yeah, this project enhances your existing boardwalk and village area with your current retailers. We not only want to help offload some of the parking, but we think we can complement what you have there with a whole host of alternative retail and entertainment. Also, the sports complex is going to, you should anticipate on tournaments, about 4,000 to 5,000 people a weekend coming in. Those folks would stay overnight. We're anticipating building 150-bed suites hotel, family-centric hotel on the site. We believe this project warrants 2 of those hotels, but we'll start with 1. Your hotel stays are really excellent rates, but you just don't have the capacity to meet the demand with your current tourism, let alone additional tourism. So we think hotels would be very viable here and would really support the tourism. And the next steps to get to all this is really updating our feasibility study. We did one about a year ago. We're updating it now. Things have changed considerably. It looks a lot better. Third-party financial agreements that we have to finalize between the city, the state, but all that needs to be worked through, approved by third parties, and then we can get into the final approval and the public outreach and input. We really don't want to start what we call schematic design until we finish the agreement and then really get into the outreach, community engagement, town hall meetings. We want to meet with business leaders. We want to meet with the community, and we want this to be their project. So I'll leave it at that.
I just want to close with the fact that you saw the economic impact. You saw how it's going to be paid for. It's going to be coming from the state. But we want to reiterate the fact that this is going to be a project that is going to be centric also around the residents. We keep mentioning that as the last bullet point that you see in there, there's going to be public outreach, as Chris mentioned, some meetings where we're going to gather together and have some working sessions to really gather all the different thoughts and incorporate them into this. We're very excited about the opportunity. We're very excited about the next chapter of what Kima can be and build upon what everybody here has really contributed to making. So we're just, thank you for the opportunity.
In closing, I just want to give a little historical content to this. This is not new. City of Kima started working on this project originally back in 2015 under the original statute. So compliments to all those that were involved and led that initiative dating back to that time back in 2015. It's had different iterations, updates in the statute, different things that have happened. The urgency for doing this and proceeding now is we have a clock that essentially says we are going to be eligible for this through a CO date of 2030. Next steps engage in us getting this project through this actual feasibility. It's already had one feasibility study. We're going to update that feasibility study to make sure that it's updated and make sure we have the most up-to-date content, numbers, and valuations possible. We're going to have this third party reviewed for both financials and legal to make sure that we're all on the same page. This is not a final. Those were drawings on a box that will change. They will change based on, we're going to move the building 10 feet this way, we're going to move this over here. That's also comments from the community as to, we do want a fitness center. Did you consider having an indoor walkable track? Well, let's add that. Okay, let's do that. Now is the time for us to have comments on the things that you want added to this building. This is not a right now. To all respect to this council that's up here now, and the council that's going to be up here when it gets passed, and future councils when this thing is programmed in 2030, who knows what could happen. The future that we start today is we're planting the seed, we're continuing to cultivate the seed that was planted back in 2015. The benefit that this will have, I mean, I have a district coach of the year that's present. Yeah, I've got one of the longest standing travel programs that's here. That's had an actual basketball program here in War and Mike Evans. You've got representatives of different businesses, boardwalks, and residents that are here. Kima is more than just a boardwalk. The next epicenter and the drive that council has given us was to try to reduce property taxes, improve the quality of service for all residents. Now is the pivotal moment where we take that next step. But what this could mean for the county, what this could mean for all of the residents, all the neighboring cities as well, and hopefully ultimately for the quality of life of Kima is something like nothing else. We've looked at this thoroughly. I've been doing this since probably the day before I started here, looking at this day and night. There's not much else that could happen with that property that would make as much sense here. Let's be honest, that property is under contract. That property could be something else. Kima doesn't have zoning. We're trying to maximize the best use that provides the most quality of life for our residents and our visitors, and still allows us to maximize from the sales tax revenue. I leave you with this. Right now, today, the 2,500 foot circumference will bring in $7.1 million of revenue per year for 10 years. That's $71 million. That's at today's dollars, not including inflation and not including one single new building going in and not including one single new business within that 2,500 feet increasing 1%. That number is only going to go up. Some preliminary projections show that could possibly be as high as $10 million per year when this thing's all said and done. It's a lot of vacant space. That 7.1 does not include whatever sales tax that town center is going to bring. We've been ultra conservative at this. At the end of the day, when this thing is done 10 years from now, we expect this thing to be paid for and to be an asset for the city to do whatever it wishes to do for it in the future. There's a reason why we're trying to partner with the absolute best in the nation at running facilities like this. If you haven't been to Legends, you haven't been to some of these centers around, go take a look at them. I implore anybody on council that wants to go, I will drive you myself. I've been there several times. And an important impact that we're missing is there's plenty of parents in here, and I could probably take a poll that either have a nephew, a cousin, a grandchild, somebody that plays travel sports. Most of y'all are tired of going to these towns where there is nothing else to do around it. The beauty of Kima is that we already are that destination. There's different cities that are building this to create a destination around them. You have the perfect fit. There's a reason why folks are coming forward to have this project possible. The next steps include for us to garner questions through our office for what steps we need to take as we finalize whatever the contract and the final envelope of this building will look like and what it'll contain. Those are the next sense of importance. There's nothing to vote on today. There's no action to take. I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions that'll come afterwards. Those of you that know me know that my phone is on 24/7. So that's all we have to conclude this item, Mayor.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the presentation. Appreciate it. Um,
You get to ask questions?
Do you want to?
Kind of.
Okay,
Just,
we
just
were,
Councilman, just know that we may not have the answers for you readily available.
They're pretty easy questions, actually. That rebate, where's it go?
The rebate comes to the city. It is a city program.
What do we do with it?
We pay off whatever is accumulated to build a building. It goes to what?
So the rebate money we get, we don't keep, just goes to paying for that thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's, you don't get to keep that one.
No one said we,
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask about, look, there's like good news and bad news. The bad news is I absolutely hate this project. The good news is I'm not running for reelection, so you're not gonna have to deal with me being a pain about it. But, and I know, I remember where this started. I remember how it started. I remember, and you're right, it's changed a lot. The thing that irks me about it is that, and I say this as somebody that probably would stand to benefit with my business from this, but I still don't think it's good for this city. Every city sort of has a personality, sort of has an identity. I don't think this blends with our identity whatsoever. I think, and I've thought for a long time, that Kima's teetering on the verge of it's a nice place to visit, but I sure wouldn't want to live there. And the thing that kept us from becoming that was the other side of 146. That was still kind of a bedroom community. That was still kind of a nice little, you got your homes, you got your developments, you got your Walmart, and now we're going to take another beast, which we already have one on this side. Believe me, if you're on this side of 146, you know this is nothing but traffic. This is nothing but noise. This is nothing but tourists, but people, and it's a weird thing to decide we want more of, and to put it to where we're actually eliminating the other side of the city where it is sort of a bedroom community and kind of are we to the point, and maybe we are, hell, I don't know, but are we to the point where we just want nothing but tourists in here and nobody's living in this town any longer? Because they're not a business or a tourist that's ever voted me in office, but a bunch of people that lived here did, and I'm like, what about them? I think, and it's easy to say this because I'm rolling out of here, nothing like this should happen without going on a ballot. We put a damn parking garage on the ballot once, and that thing got shut down with fire. I think the only reason I've not put this on the ballot is the fear of it getting shut down. But I don't know. I mean, would anybody that lives in Keene, would you want this in your backyard?
Councilman,
we're not going
There's
to,
one.
we're not going to open it up to the public. We're going to adjourn the meeting, and anyone that wants
Well-
to, I mean, not right this second, but any of y'all that want to talk about this or ask questions, you can get with Caesar, get with Darren. He's worked on it a long time. So has Isaac, and all the gentlemen that have been working on it are here and available tonight for any of you to talk to, or get a card from Caesar or whatever you want to after the meeting.
Sorry, I'm turning into a Snickers.
That's okay.
That's
Is there anyone else up here, any other councilman that would like to make any comments? Ask any questions?
Sort of what Doug was leading to as far as the bedroom community. I'm really concerned with, the presentation was really nice, but you mentioned Evergreen, you mentioned Gordy, and you mentioned 146, but we didn't mention the folks that live in Kemah Crossing, that this is going to be in the backyard. I'm really concerned with what we can do if it comes to pass to protect those folks that live there, because it's basically going to be right in their backyard. I mean, is there anything that we can do as far as leaving trees up? I mean, that's from everyone that I've talked to over there. That's their big concern. They love sitting in their backyard. They love looking at the birds and hearing the crickets and everything else.
I'll take it. So the design that's in place now shows a buffer, and it does show a landscaping buffer as well as obviously fencing that was available in one of the previous slides. So there is a plan for that. The average buffer that exists between developments like this is usually 20 to 40 feet. We extended for it to be 60 to 80 feet with a landscape buffer included in that. So that's to answer that question. Some of the other questions that were asked, without getting into who likes or who wants or whatever the case is, that I'm sure there'll be plenty of debate that's going to happen from there. But the truth is, this is a private development that happens to have a city component with an asset that we can partake in. The city is not in a position to own a $70 million asset with our current state of finances, but we do have a mechanism to do so right now. We have the mechanism to do so So the question is, are we going to forego these funds? And respectfully to members of the state and the governor's office who are here waiting for their presentation, do we want it to go back to the state? Or do we want to have an asset or an economic driver that could do that while also providing a quality of life for folks? As you mentioned, that residential community, where do those folks go to recreate now? There is no community center. There is no fitness center. There is no place for them to go play pickleball now. There is no other aspect of that. So there's that part of the community as well that would like to partake in those type of activities. There is no place for after-school programming, homeschooling, or any other type of activities like that, similar to what other cities around us, including Deer Park, when they just opened their actual Dallas Center. They have a very similar center. I invite anybody who would like to go down the street to Deer Park. Actually, I was there today, and guess what I saw? A Kima resident. Kima resident was there working out because we don't have that type of facility here within our area. And that's not a problem. At the end of the day, it is the will of this group to do this, but we are far from where we need to be. Right now, we need to decide a final product of what we're trying to do. And I say final because the inside is the programming. Are we building this thing or are we not? We have to get final right out from the state to say what we're doing next, and then we move this thing forward. And then we're talking about a 2-3 year process to get this thing built out. Having said that, that concludes the presentation. If nothing further, I'll be more than happy to entertain any questions afterwards. But I respect the members of our governor's office and all of our guests are here to hear the second part of the presentation.
Next on the agenda is the presentation of the tourism-friendly communities certification. I don't know where Patty went. She,
Can you grab, Devin, could you grab Maddie for me, please? As a testament to the work that's been done by Patty, one of the things that this council approved for us to do is to go out and seek tourism certification. The state of Texas, through its Department of Economic Development, has what's called the Tourism Friendly Texas Community Certification. And we're very happy to have sought that certification for over a year and now in position to receive it. So there's a member here from the governor's office who's probably outside being interviewed, trying to maximize her time, who's here to make that presentation. And right on cue.
you're up.
You're up.
I apologize.
Ms. Maddie?
Thank you guys so much, and thank you for your patience. We were very excited to be able to speak with the press today and just listening in on the presentation. We had a little bit of a precursor to the event center, and it sounds like a really exciting project, and I'm really excited to be here today to present the tourism-friendly certification. I'd just like to say a few words on
Absolutely.
behalf of the governor's office.
And your name is Madeline Phillips?
Madeline Phillips, yes, ma'am.
Happy to have you with us today.
Well, thank you. I'm actually a Houston resident, so I grew up sailing down the street at Seabrook Sailing Club. I know Kima very well. I have family that live at Lakewood Yacht Club, so I'm very familiar with the area, and it's nice to come back and be able to signify all that you guys do and all the hard work that Patty and her office has accomplished. Let me just pull up my speech here. Perfect. It's truly an honor today to be here and recognize the city of Kima as an official tourism-friendly Texas certified community. First, I want to thank City Council and your local leadership for your continued support of tourism as an economic driver. That alignment is critical, and it's clear that Kima understands the value of investing in its visitor economy. I also want to recognize Patty Jett and the Visit Kima for leading this effort on behalf of the city. Kima is like what we like to call small but mighty. And that couldn't be more true when looking at the impact tourism is generating here. 38.7 million in direct annual visitor spending from 2024, and almost $1.5 million generated in local tax revenue. For a community of this size, that level of impact is significant. Those dollars don't just come into Kima, they work for Kima. They support local businesses, fund essential public services, and enhance the overall quality of life for residents. And just like what we see across Texas, visitor-generated tax revenue helps reduce the burden on local households. In Galveston County, that equates to over $1,000 saved per tax household in 2024 alone. A powerful reminder that tourism isn't just about attracting visitors. It's not just a leisure or luxury item, but it's about supporting the people who call this community home. Kima has built a destination that people don't just visit, they come back to time and time again as it embedded in some of their most cherished memories. From the iconic Kemah Boardwalk to the charm of the Lighthouse District to local favorites like T-Bone Tom's and the cultural institutions like the Butler Longhorn Museum, Kemah offers something that is authentic, memorable, and distinctly Texas. I also want to recognize the partners and stakeholders who helped make this certification possible. We ask that at least 3 letters of recommendation come from the local community. Patty surpassed that by quite a few. We got letters from the Kemah Boardwalk, Elite Fishing, T-Bone Tom's, Kemah State Company, Bay Area Houston Partnership, and the Galveston Bay Foundation. This certification represents a collective effort, and it's clear that Kemah's success is built on strong partnerships and a shared vision for the future. At the governor's office, we view tourism as economic development, plain and simple. And Kemah is a perfect example of how a community can leverage tourism, not just to attract visitors, but to drive real, measurable economic impact. This certification is not just a recognition of where you are today, it's a foundation for continued growth, continued investment, and continued success. So on behalf of the governor's office, it's my honor to officially recognize the city of Kemah as a tourism-friendly Texas certified community. Congratulations on this achievement, and thank you for your continuing to show that when a community invests in tourism, it invests in the future. Thank you so much.
Council, can you guys please come forward for a picture?
I can get on one knee, I guess.
I'm really excited. She was very excited.
No, get in the front row. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. You guys are.
Where'd Darren go? Oh, okay. Well, we, we do not have any reason for an executive session tonight, so we will just adjourn the meeting at 4:44 PM. Okay.